Hey, what's up everyone, Nick here from Modern Home Reno. To answer a whole bunch of your questions, in this video I'm going to show you exactly how I built this router sled, which is what I use to flatten off all the pieces of wood that are too big to go through my planer, all out of scrap pieces of plywood. Out of an 8-foot long piece of scrap plywood, I began to cut 2 pieces at 3.5 inches and then 2 more at 2 inches. These pieces are for the L-shaped risers. The reason for them being 2 different heights is so that I can rip a slab of wood down from 3 inches all the way down to 1/2 inch. I began by joining the 2-inch piece of plywood and the 3.5-inch piece of plywood together, forming an L shape. I used my pin gun to hold the 2 pieces together. And then fix them together using a small bead of glue, countersink and wood screws, down the whole length of the piece. I then repeated this process on the other 2 pieces of plywood. I then cleaned off any glue residue with a damp cloth, and then sanded down any rough areas. Using a 1/8 inch roundover bit in my router, I then took off all the sharp edges. Previously, I used to clamp my L-shaped risers to my bench, but this would always cause me hassle when I had the clamps used on other projects. So instead I decided to use threaded inserts. This way I can clamp it down to my bench when I need it, and then when I don't, I can just undo them and remove them. Easy. I clamped the risers to my bench and then drilled a series of holes down the length using a 3/8 of an inch bit. I drilled all the way through the riser and the bench, and then flipped the riser around and then drilled up through the bench into the riser. This way the holes match up whichever way you use it. I then countersunk the holes to accommodate the threaded insert, making sure that the threaded insert would sit below the top of the bench. These steps will vary depending on the setup you have, and clamps do work perfectly fine. I just felt that this worked better for me. However, you do have to make sure whatever you're clamping your risers to has to be level and flat. I repeated this process on the other side. Now it's time to make the sled part. I measured the width of the base of my router and then added 1/2 inch. In this case it was 5.5 inches wide. So I ripped a piece at 5.5 inches by 4 foot. And then ripped 3 more at 4 inches. 2 for the sides and 1 for the ends. I measured the distance of the risers. I then cut the base and the sides of the sled 1/2 inch bigger than the gap of the risers. On the base of the sled, I marked a line down throughout the center. And then 1.5 inches from each end, I made a mark. And using my table saw, I made a plunge cut from each hole. You can use a jigsaw for this if you don't feel confident using a table saw. I then began to attach the sides to the base. Using the same techniques as we did on the risers. Using a pin gun to hold them in place, then a bead of glue and a countersink and wood screws to permanently hold them in position. I repeated this on both sides. I then did 2 4-inch cuts for the ends. I then attached the ends using the same techniques as before, but ensuring they're 2 inches lower than the top. This way the sled doesn't slide off the risers. While I have you here for a brief second, I would like to talk to you about this week's sponsor, Bluehost. All you need to start a website or a blog for your business is a great web host. We recommend Bluehost as the #1 provider. Head on over to modernhomereno.com/Bluehost to get a special 60% off hosting deal. That link gives you hosting for just $2.95, a free domain, unlimited free email, and free SSL security and more. Plus, when you go to modernhomereno.com/Bluehost right now, we will also give you a profitable website startup kit, including bonuses, a step-by-step training on everything you need to set up, grow, and monetize your new website. modernhomereno.com/Bluehost. And there you have it. I'll attach the link to the router bit that I use in the description below. If you're like me and you don't own a wide industrial planer, I found this to be the easiest and most inexpensive way to get wide pieces of wood nice and flat. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you want to see more of our day-to-day stuff, go follow us on our social media accounts @ModernHomeReno. Peace.